Welcome to TNC Movie Knights review. We both just got done watching John Wick, and I got some things to say. But I'll kick it to you first, Brandon. Initial thoughts before we do a deep dive or anything like that. What'd you think?
I did enjoy it a lot. It was pretty much everything I expected. A very fun action. I want to say popcorn movie, but like borderline. Like there is a little more to it at times, but it is very like action, action, action. So I really did enjoy that a lot. It was definitely fun, and kind of surface level, I did like it a lot.
I'm right there with you, man. I had a bowl of popcorn in front of me. It was gone by like minute 25, I think, because it's just like, But more than doing a lot of things really well, it didn't do any of the things that normally bug me with movies like this. When you have the tropes of like a whole bunch of people monologuing, which they had once or twice, or the fact that you'll have a super assassin who is like deadly accurate for every single person that doesn't matter, but then every single person that does, they're a freaking stormtrooper now. And they really didn't do that in this one. It was just like a really good movie. Which is, I mean, it's not to say popcorn movies can't also be really good, but, you know, this one just is. And a couple of things stuck out for me. And we mentioned this on our very first episode. And I'm sure we will mention this on nearly all episodes going forward. Because that's just how finicky I am with this. But it followed its own rules, man. We didn't need, like, a whole lot of backstory to anything. We didn't need a whole lot of exposition. We very quickly learned who John Wick was. We very quickly learned how serious they take him. They called him the freaking Baba Yaga anyway. He's the boogeyman for the boogeyman, so we heard. But then throughout the entire movie, they never had to like pull back on anything. If they said something, they committed to it. From was it the Continental? Was that the name of the hotel?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
That hotel itself could be its own character. That's how cool it was. The dude at the front, the dude who cleans up that we saw at the beginning, all of that. And it's like they don't leave anything there. You just accept the rule, the universe that they give you, and then they don't back down from that. They told us you don't do business at the Continental. Someone did business at the Continental, and we didn't have some sort of knockdown drag out that lasted 3 movies. They were just like, you did the thing we told you not to do. Gone. Spoiler alert, but this is what we're doing. But yeah, it was great. And not to jump around and everything, but I'm going to do that because we just saw it and everything's fresh. But the very first time he took on the goons at his house, when it was like just a bunch of no-name guys that he was killing in a badass way. I love how they show you the cleanup from that. Because so many movies are just all about the bang and the fights and all that. And then it's like they go to a secondary location and they're just continuing with the plot. But then there's sort of that thought in the back of your head, like, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and he's in a residential neighborhood, and they were just firing a lot of guns and breaking a lot of glass. How did nobody hear that? Not that it really would impact the story, but it kind of you're just like, all right, we'll just pretend we didn't hear that. But they just straight up, there's a cop at the door. Hey, Jimmy. Hey, John. Noise complaint? And you're just like, okay, so this is why that didn't happen, because he's, you know, kind of, whether it's a payroll thing, whether it's a previous employment thing, even the joke of, hey, are you working again? Like, that was great. We knew all we needed to know right there. We didn't need exposition of, you know, a jump cut of the past 10 years of John paying off the cop. We didn't need, you know, 10 minutes of conversation between them. We knew just from the writing that, okay, this is something that's happened before. This is a cop who's in on it in some way, and that's all we need to know, because it answers our question of, well, how is this not an issue for the police? Done. It's gone before it's even there. And then same with, like, you got, like, 11 dead guys in your house that's just covered in blood. Oh, wait, stack of coins, cleaning crew. Done. No questions. They answered all of those sort of, like, little tiny plot hole-y things that you think about maybe after the fact, or that on a rewatch, you're like, wait a minute, they're making kind of a lot of noise. But they're just like, no, man, we got you. Before you even have the question, we're going to answer it for you. And I love that.
I definitely thought that was really cool. And as you said, the movie did a very good job of setting up of like how much of a badass John Wick is, and everyone knows about him. The cop is like, like the whole "you're working again." That was great. I guess that does kind of leave the one part of the movie I didn't like. And it was kind of a big thing for me too. As the movie went on, like everyone knew who John Wick was. Like literally in passing, every single person he passed would be like, "Oh, John Wick." Like they knew him. They saw his face and they knew who he was. How are you going to tell me that the lead boss guy's son doesn't know who John Wick is? He's never come up before. Like you've never brought up his name, and now you're going to go bully John Wick. It's like, I guess that was the one thing that kind of didn't make a whole lot of sense. And then also, I mean, I guess like why not just kill him in the house? I mean, I understand why, because like you got to keep the movie going and stuff. But it's like if you're going to beat a dude, kill his dog, steal from him, break into his home, why aren't you just going to kill him too? I get that is a bigger, like issue to happen, but when you're like a mob boss son, doesn't matter. So
true.
That was my one issue with the movie.
Yeah. And to sort of piggyback off of that, I guess to sort of play devil's advocate and explain it away, they did mention that it had been over 4 years, and then later on, John himself says it's been 5.5. So I was like, okay, in my head, maybe there's a chance he was like 16 when John retired, so he wasn't quite in the circle yet. His buddies are just some idiot friends of his who happened to join too. That's not something they went over, but it's something that I can maybe not explain away, but excuse, because like, maybe. And then same with them not killing him in the house bit, because they're just trying to steal the car. So I was like, okay, they don't know who he is. They just think he's a nobody. They're just going to steal his car and get it over. The part that I had a little issue with of them not killing him was when they hit him with the car and he blacked out just in the parking lot, and they didn't just kill him there. They brought him to the warehouse to monologue to him a little bit. It seemed a little unnecessary. Although I will say the only character that was very guilty of monologuing was the main bad guy, so I guess that, like, if that's just what he does, it's very convenient. But they didn't do that for everybody, and they didn't do that with, like, the assassins as much. They had some kind of casual conversation, but a lot of it, you're able to explain away. They were at the hotel, there wasn't a contract out for him before, then there was, then there wasn't. It's all stuff that's very convenient. But I don't know if it's like, like a capital punishment type of situation where it's like an inexcusable sort of egregious error part. But it was very convenient that they had two chances when he was blacked out in the sidewalk and when he was tied to a chair, and they decided that bringing him to a warehouse and a freaking bag were going to be the best bet to kill him. Also, Willem Dafoe, very convenient he was there. But I'm glad that they stuck with it. They were going to have him be that sort of ex machina type, like, character, that type of situation. But they set that table for you. And they let you know, this guy is here. He has a relationship with John. Which way is he going to flip? We don't know for sure until we do. So, again, very convenient. But I don't know about, like, inexcusable.
Yeah, and that's my thing. Like, nothing in the movie I was like, ugh. Like, nothing made me groan or eye roll because I was like, come on. Like, you're going to do that? It was more just kind of afterthought. I was like, yeah, it probably maybe could have been a little smoother, explained better, or maybe changed a little something to make it more sense. But you can explain it and be like, okay, well, this is how it could be. So you can kind of, play around with it in your head, which is kind of nice to have in the movies as well. But yeah, I think that's my only one kind of issue at all. But all in all, it was a lot of fun. I thought William Dafoe, outside of course, John Wick, might have been my favorite character. Like, I know he didn't get a whole lot of screen time, but just kind of the mystique to him, and then, I mean, just the kind of payoff for him as well throughout was really cool. So I did really enjoy him in the movie a lot.
Especially the way he went out, because you see Willem Dafoe and you're like, what do we got here? Are you the good guy? Are you the bad guy? Are you outside of your mind, which is usually the case? But even the way he went out, where he was like, "I'm going out on my terms," and then it's like, damn. Even to the very end, you're kind of a badass. But I think if I'm going favorite like sub character, it's Ian McShane. I'm a sucker for Ian McShane. He always plays such a good bad guy, and even in this one, he wasn't a bad guy, but he had that sort of like, he was this assassin type guy. He helped John with like the note at the bar. He you know due to your own hand, you've been revoked. This sort of thing at the very end with Perkins. And, oh God,
I did love that.
Can't get enough of him. Can't get enough.
Yeah, no, which is totally fair. He was very good. And that's the thing, like, that's what I liked about a lot of the actors. They were quietly very impressive in the roles. No one felt like they were trying to, like, emerge and push John Wick's character. They were very well put in the movie. And again, even with the other assassin for Miss Perkins, I thought her character was great. It wasn't too much, it wasn't too little, and we got a very great way to end the character at the end when they did kill her, like in the whole like assassin group kind of thing, which was really crazy. I was not expecting that at all, and that was it
was so funny because I was sitting there and I was watching it, and as soon as they came out, I was like, she broke the rule, kill her now, or I'm gonna be upset. Because that's the thing when I talk about breaking their own rules that movies do, and then it's like they just, for convenience sake, they just let someone get away with it. Like, you're gonna talk about how you can't break the rules for the entire movie. She breaks the rules, and then we have to wait till the sequel to see what happens to her. These are all assassins. It's in a freaking hotel for assassins. You're telling me there's not one dude who can finish the job before a sequel, and they were just like, he broke the rules. Pop, 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 pop. Oh, wow, that was fast, and that's how they would do it. It makes sense. It all makes sense.
And that was what really surprised me, because I don't see a whole lot of movies that I've watched that really stick to the rules with, kind of mainish characters. And I was like, they're probably gonna like kick her out or tell her she's out for a bit or send her away or something, or maybe just hurt her. And then just poof, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Gone, just gone. And that's why I'm such a stickler for rules, and I can like kind of push that aside for popcorn movies like this. If this was just gonna be a dumb action movie, whatever, I don't care. You're gonna be, you're gonna do some dumb stuff. It's gonna be like stereotypical sort of stuff. It's gonna be very convenient, but whatever. You're not trying to be anything other than that. So I'm not gonna harp on you for that. But I extra appreciate it in movies like this where it's so easy to take the easy way out, but they still don't. And so that's why a movie like this gets some extra credit for sure, because like you could have just been lazy and still made just as much money, still had a really solid movie, but you decided to take the extra time to sort of cover your tracks and make sure you stuck with what you said. You did things, you followed through with them. Even like the way that he killed Alfie Allen's character, where he just like, there's no monologue. I was a little upset when he missed shooting him in like the red circle, but again, it was something that you can kind of like, okay, well, there was the glass there, maybe he was trying to do so, I don't know, could be convenient, but it's not inexcusable. But when he actually did kill him, no monologue, no moment of you killed my dog and you killed you're my wife this, my wife that, my car this. It's not going to take 6 minutes to kill him. He's an assassin. He knew what his job was. He wanted to do it. Pop, there's one in the gut. Hey, what's up? Pop, done. Over. Walks behind him. Job's done. It's like, see? That's not bad. And that makes up for the moments where it does get a little monologue-y. At the end, when they're chatting, which really wasn't even that bad, it's like, okay, you're not beating a dead horse with this. We know what happened. We saw. He knows he did it. John knows he did it. The audience knows he did it. We don't need to keep talking about it. And it didn't. So it was really good.
Yeah, it was very well done with that. And I agree. There was no part of this movie where I was like, come on, get on with it. Like, let's get through the dialogue. Of course, every time like the main villain came on, I was like, okay, there's going to be a little more dialogue. I understand that. And I can accept that.
He was a little chit-chatty.
Yeah, but they didn't do that with anyone else, really. And I really do applaud them for that, because it kept your expectations going throughout the movie. There wasn't this one just odd, like, dialogue, no dialogue for this person, no dialogue, and then just random, like, 2 minutes of dialogue. and then the villain
Exactly.
again. So it was very crisp on that, and I did really enjoy that a lot. So
Exactly. And not to pat them on the back even more about that, but it makes sense why he would be the one to do that.
100%.
Everyone else is an assassin. Killing people is their everyday. So you don't need to monologue every kill. So they just did their job. And I loved just the sort of nonchalance that they had. Even in the hotel room with, what was his name? The Hank or Henry. When he was just like, just having a chat. Oh, okay. I see what this is. And then they just kind of went with it. And they were like, yeah, this is normal for us. This is the everyday. I'm just at a hotel right now. But it makes sense that the mob boss, who isn't the assassin, would be that monologuing type, because he's that sort of performative head boss role. He's got to have that stigma around him. Assassin's an assassin. My job is to kill. I'm a kill. Why do I need to talk to you about it? So it makes sense that he would be the one that gets like that little monologue, maybe a little too chit-chatty. But they didn't overdo it, mostly, and yeah, it made sense for why he was there. But, real quick, favorite kill. Not to put you on the spot.
My favorite was it was kind of simple, but I've never seen anything like it in a movie, and it made me. And that's my favorite part about some of these. When the guy was behind the pillar and you slightly saw his foot, and he shot the foot, shot him in the head. That was
yes.
I was like, that was impressive. It was clever, it was creative, and it wasn't too much. It wasn't like I'm gonna shoot through the whole wall or anything crazy like that. It was toe head. I was like, that was really quick, very clean. Yeah.
For that exact same reason, mine was the one in the house at the very beginning when the team was coming in, and he shot the dude like in the leg, and he fell over on the ground, and then he shot him in the head. That
was good
for the
too.
exact same reasons. It's like, this man is efficient. Yeah. He knows what he needs to do to get the kill. Boom, you're on the ground. Now I see your head. Boom, now you're gone. That's it. That's how the assassin would do it. Also, bonus points. The amount of times we saw him reload and run out of ammo felt very realistic. Movies where they just have like 100 shots and then he reloads once and has like 400 more. Like, all right, man. But he had to like keep doing it. It was inconvenient for him. A couple times he couldn't reload because he was in the middle of a fight, which would happen. A couple times he went to go reach for one and didn't have any, which would happen. So a lot of those little things that sort of almost for a split second take you out of the movie realm and be like, oh yeah, this is something that would happen. That sort of same thing with the cop, like, oh yeah, this is something we didn't think about. This is happening just in New York. Like, you would need to explain some of this away. Some people run out of bullets sometimes. I also love, this is a little thing. I don't want to like completely take over the talk time for this episode. But I loved how in the beginning his license plate was for Jersey, and then the new car that he got from the hotel was New York. I just love the idea of an assassin just being like, hey, listen, I don't think I want to do this anymore. And then a mob boss was like, here's the impossible job. He just kills everybody. And then he just like, all right, I'm going to go retire to Jersey with my wife. And then he just did. Like, that was it. Like, he just got his pension from the post office or something. Time to retire to Jersey. It's like, that's amazing. And it goes right into that sort of nonchalance of all the assassins that I loved.
No, yeah, it definitely was really good. And yeah, again, nothing made you kind of overthink and like, okay, why is this happening? But it was those subtle little details for a movie like this that you wouldn't have expected with a popcorn movie. That is like, it just kind of makes you grin a little bit. Like, that was cool. I really did appreciate that throughout the film.
Absolutely. Any final thoughts? Other than it was really good.
I'm very excited for us to, maybe we'll do this for John Wick 2 as well at some point. I don't think we'll do it back to back, but hey, who knows? Maybe we'll decide. I definitely want to see John Wick 2 and 3 because I believe I've heard 3 is the best. I'm not too sure though. I know 2 or 3 people say is the best one for how creative they get with some of like the fighting in it. So I'm definitely excited for that. How about yourself?
Same here, man. That was... for all of the hype that this movie had, I was still pleasantly surprised that it was not only just a good action flick and a good popcorn flick, but also like a well-written movie. It was a good, full production piece. And so, I mean, gets the thumbs up for me for sure. And keep a lookout on all our social medias. We'll let you guys know what the next movie is and when. I believe our next one will probably be around the same time. So if you're getting in the schedules of when these videos get released, we still have to work out the fine details, of course, but I think we're going to keep that same sort of schedule. So if it's working for you now, keep it up. And again, keep an eye out in that merch shop. Maybe dropping soon. Don't know exactly when. Don't want to tease it too much. Pick up some Nerd Chambers merch and keep on the lookout. There you go. Keep on the lookout for some movie night stuff.
Yep, always make sure to follow us on all social media. We're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We're on Anchor as well now. That's will be the shows that have gone out when you guys do see them on all streaming platforms. I'm sure it'll be out there in stuff like Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcasts to start. And then I know Anchor does a great job of taking care of us, and they'll get it to a lot more streaming platforms as well. If you also want to follow us up for any video game news, always follow the Nerd Chambers at the Nerd Chambers. Again, any social media there. And then TNC Movie Knights is at TNC Movie Knights. Nice and simple for you guys. We just want to make sure you guys can find us anywhere you need us, and always feel free to contact us. Let us know what movies you'd like to see or anything you'd like for us to talk about.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We're super excited to have this going. He's Brandon. I'm Alex. Thanks for watching.